Just as we saw with the mystery of the pyramids in our last video, this place also holds a secret that has baffled scientists for centuries. Welcome to Pompeii, Italy. The year is 79 AD. The Roman Empire is at the height of its power, stretching from Scotland to Syria, from the Rhine to the Sahara. And here, on the volcanic Bay of Naples in southern Italy, sits one of the most envied cities in the known world, Pompeii. Population approximately 20,000. A city that should not have been remarkable. It was not Rome, it was not Carthage, it was not Alexandria, but Pompeii was alive in a way that few cities in history have ever been. Wealthy merchants displayed their fortunes in sprawling villas, tiled with mosaics so intricate they took teams of artisans years to complete. The walls were painted in deep Pompeian red, a pigment so vivid, so singular, that archaeologists would one day name the color after this city. Frescoes depicted gods feasting, lovers embracing, philosophers debating. The Forum, the city's beating heart, was ringed with temples and government buildings. The Basilica conducted law and commerce simultaneously. The Macellum, the great food market, sold exotic spices, fresh fish pulled that morning from the bay, and wine from the slopes of the mountain above. That mountain, Vesuvio. The Romans admired it the way people admire something beautiful without asking why it is the way it is. They planted vineyards on its fertile southern slopes. The wine, thick, dark, volcanic, was famous across the empire. A philosopher named Strabo had noted, centuries earlier, that the summit of Vesuvius showed signs of fire. The mountain did not erupt without warning. That is the coolest part of what happened here. The warning was there. It was loud. It was sustained. It stretched across 17 years. In 62 AD, just 17 years before the catastrophe, a devastating earthquake struck the Campania region. The philosopher Seneca wrote of it in vivid, frightened terms. Entire flocks of sheep killed, statues shattered, springs permanently altered. Pompeii and the nearby city of Herculaneum were severely damaged. Some buildings collapsed entirely. The wealthy packed their belongings and left. Then, within months, they came back. The land was too fertile, the trade routes too profitable, the life too good to abandon. They rebuilt. They replastered the walls. They restored the temples. They painted new frescoes over the cracks. As the years passed, the earthquakes continued. Smaller, yes, but more frequent. Underground springs in the surrounding countryside began tasting of sulfur. Wells that had provided fresh water for generations dried up without explanation. The sea near Herculaneum reportedly receded from its shoreline, as though the water itself was retreating. In the weeks immediately preceding August 24th, 79 AD, the tremors grew relentless. Pliny the Elder, Rome's greatest, August 24th, 79 AD, approximately 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There is no slow build, no final warning, no moment of transition between the world that existed and the world that follows. There is simply the eruption. Mount Vesuvius detonates with a force that modern volcanologists estimated 200,000 times the power of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The summit of the mountain is gone in an instant, blasted outward in a ring of superheated debris. In its place, a column of gas, rock, and ash that screams 33 kilometers into the stratosphere. Pliny the Younger is 17 years old. He is staying with his uncle at Misenum across the bay. He watches from a terrace. He describes the eruption column as resembling a pine tree, a massive black trunk erupting from the earth, then branching outward at unimaginable altitude into a vast, spreading canopy of ash. That column carries millions of tons of pulverized rock. and for the next 12 hours, it rains it back down onto Pompeii. Pumice, volcanic rock so light it floats in water, falls at a rate of 15 centimeters per hour. Within minutes, the Forum is ankle deep. Within an hour, the streets are becoming difficult to walk. Within 3 hours, rooftops begin collapsing under the accumulated weight. The sky over Pompeii turns black at midday. People light torches in their homes. They wrap cloth. This is what volcanologists call a pyroclastic surge. And it is the most lethal phenomenon the natural world produces. At approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, 12 hours after the initial eruption, the column of gas and rock holding itself 33 kilometers into the stratosphere loses cohesion. The thermal energy sustaining it drops. And in seconds, millions of tons of superheated material, gas, ash, rock, that had been climbing into the sky now have only one direction left: down. The resulting surge travels at 300 kilometers per hour, faster than a commercial aircraft at cruising speed. Its temperature ranges between 200 and 500 degrees Celsius. It carries with it a pressure wave that collapses walls. And it is utterly, completely silent. Until it is upon you. Herculaneum, the city to the west of Vesuvius, is hit first. Hundreds of survivors had fled to the seafront, crowded into the stone boat storage chambers cut into the volcanic rock along the beach. They had been there all night, waiting for rescue ships. The pyroclastic surge reaches them in less than 4 minutes from the moment of column collapse. Every person on that beach dies instantaneously. The brain fluid inside their skulls vaporizes from the heat. The pressure causes skulls to fracture. In 1980, archaeologists excavating those chambers found them still there. Hundreds of skeletons. Still seated, still huddled, still waiting. For 1669 years, Pompeii did not exist. Not on any map that mattered. Not in any living memory. The ash that murdered the city also mummified it, burying it so completely, so immediately, that within 2 generations, its location was lost. Villages grew up on the fields above it. Farmers plowed the earth over its rooftops. The dead lay undisturbed, 3 meters below the feet of people who had never heard their names. Then, in 1748, a Spanish military engineer named Roque Joaquim de Alcubierre, working under the command of Charles III, King of Naples and Sicily, began a series of excavations in the volcanic plain south of Vesuvius. His workers drove shafts into the earth, and they began to find walls, then floors, then intact rooms, still containing furniture. Carbonized, yes, but present. They found amphorae still sealed. They found shop signs painted on rendered walls. They found electoral graffiti, citizens campaigning for local office with slogans as vivid and petty as any modern political advertisement. They found private jokes scratched into plaster. They found a mosaic at the entrance of one house, a snarling dog on a chain above the words "Cave canem," beware of the dog. They found a city, intact, frozen, waiting. The discovery ignited Europe. Philosophers, artists, and in 1863, the Italian archaeologist and excavation superintendent Giuseppe Fiorelli made a decision that would change the way the world understood death. He had noticed, during years of careful excavation, that the volcanic ash surrounding the human remains was not solid. It was hollow. Perfectly, precisely, uncannily hollow. The bodies had decayed over 17 centuries, but the ash had hardened around them before that decay could erase their shape. Every fold of clothing, every tensed muscle, every expression on every face, preserved in a stone mold. Fiorelli began pouring liquid plaster of Paris into the voids. When it hardened, When the surrounding matrix was carefully removed, the dead of Pompeii returned. Not as bones, as people. As full, three-dimensional human beings, caught at the exact moment their lives ended. There is a man known as the Reggio V man, found in 2018 during ongoing excavations. He lies on his back, one arm raised above his face, as though shielding his eyes from what was coming. Analysis revealed he was likely a slave, his vertebrae showing signs of years of heavy physical labor. He did not flee. Perhaps he could not. There is a family, a man, a woman, 2 children, found huddled together in a small room. The father's arm is wrapped around his family. In the final seconds of his life, he was holding them. The plaster captures this completely. He is still holding them. There is the pregnant woman, found face down, her hands pressed beneath her abdomen. Nobody knows whether